This will be for the con assignment GCF factoring introduction. Okay, GCF stands for greatest common factor. So for most of these, I don't even think you need to read the write-up. All right, but I'll do it anyway. Averi was trying to factor 4x squared plus 20x minus 16. She found that the greatest common factor of these terms was 4 and made an area model. All right. So what you want to remember, the point of this area model, the area of a rectangle that's going to equal length times width. All right. So obviously they labeled this the width. So of course this 4 here is the length. All right. And the idea for problems like this one, in order to find the width, okay, because these numbers inside the rectangles, those are the areas. Okay, so in order to find the width of each one, you just want to divide each one by 4. Okay, so first we have 4x squared divided by 4. Okay, and 4 divided by 4 cancels. And we're just left with the x squared. Okay, 20x divided by 4. All right, 20 divided by 4 is just 5. And we're still left with the x. So this width is 5x. And finally, negative 16 divided by 4. And that's just negative 4. So this width is negative 4. Okay, so this is what they're asking. What is the width of the model? So it's just going to be x squared. This is a positive 5x, and this is a negative 4. So you just enter that in the box. X squared plus 5x minus 4. All right. So type the x and click this one here for the exponent. That's squared. Click it again to bring the cursor back down. Plus 5x. So I click plus 5x. And then minus 4. I'm going to click minus 4. All right. So the point of this, the idea is just to factor out a 4. All right. Let me see, I'll show you real quick. The point of this is to factor out a 4. See, we have 4x squared plus 20x minus 16. All right, and if we divide everything by 4, that's the same as factoring out a 4. So we'll have x squared plus 5x minus 4. So this expression is the same as this expression right here. Okay, we just factored out a 4, and then we divided each of these terms by 4. So that's the point of this exercise. All right, so let's see here. Which expression is the result of factoring the expression below by taking out its greatest common factor? Okay, so we have a 4x squared, so we can't divide by anything more than 4. All right, because once we divide this by 4, we're going to have x squared. So obviously 4 is divisible by 4, 16 is divisible by 4, and so is negative 4. All right, so we factor out a 4 by dividing each of these terms by 4. Okay, 4x squared divided by 4. Well, the 4's just cancel and we're left with x squared. Positive 16x divided by 4. We have 16 divided by 4, and that's a positive 4. And we're still left with the x. And then negative 4 divided by 4 is just negative 1. So this is our answer. So just find the correct multiple choice. Okay, we factored out a 4. So it can't be A, it can't be B, and it can't be D. So this matches 4x squared plus 4x minus 1. That's what we got. It's answer C. All right, so another area problem. Again, you can read this if you want, but you don't necessarily have to. Just look at the question. They want you to find the width of the model. Okay, so this is the width right here. We don't have that. And of course, this is the length. All right, so just remember for the rectangle, the area is length times width. They give you the area. So in order to find the width, we just divide each of these by the length. So we have 10x squared divided by 5x. Okay, 10 divided by 5 is 2. And x squared divided by x. Remember, you can just subtract the exponents when you're dividing. So this is the same as x to the first power. So x squared divided by x. 2 minus 1 is just 1. So that's x to the 1. Okay, but you don't need to write the 1. So it's just 2x. Right? Because x squared divided by x is just x. Okay, then of course 5x divided by 5x. That's just 1. So the width is simply 2x plus 1. Enter it in the box. All right. So you want to factor out the greatest common factor. Okay, we have 6, 3, and 12. Okay, so we can't factor out anything larger than 3 because then you'd have a fraction in front of the x. We don't want that. So 6 is divisible by 3, 3 is divisible by 3, and 12 is divisible by 3. All right, I suggest for these problems, just look at the smallest coefficient and see if the other numbers are divisible by that number. If so, then that's the number you're factoring out. All right, so I'm going to factor out a 3. 6x squared divided by 3. I know 6 divided by 3 is just 2, and we still have the x squared. Negative 3x divided by 3. Well, negative 3 over 3 is just negative 1, and we still have the x. So you can write negative 1x, but you don't need to write the 1. All right, so it's really just negative x. And then finally, 12 divided by 3 is just positive 4. So that's it. Just look for this answer. Okay, we factored out a 3. The only one with the 3 is answer C. And just to make sure this matches this inside the parentheses. All right, so for this one here, again, look at the lowest coefficient. Okay, the smallest coefficient obviously is 10. Can we divide 50 by 10? Yes, absolutely. Okay, so first I'm going to factor out a 10. And then if you have all the same variables, like here we have x and x on both terms, you factor out the x with the smallest exponent. Okay, so this is x squared, and this is just x, same as x to the first. Okay, so the smallest exponent here is 1. So we just factor out the x. All right, so we're dividing by 10x. 10x squared divided by 10x. All right, 10 over 10 cancels. and x squared divided by x is just x. In case you missed that, the exponent on this x is just 1. Okay, and when you divide, you subtract the exponent. So 2 minus 1 is just 1. So this is x to the 1, or just plain old x, same thing. Here we have 50x, and we divide by 10x. Okay, 50 divided by 10 is 5. And x divided by x cancels. So we're just left with 5. So that's our final answer. All right. So we factored out a 10x. It can't be C or D. And we have x plus 5 in parentheses. That's answer B.